Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. We're going to dive straight into your reading today. I am really excited. I felt really guided to use the Crow Tarot today, and I love the Crow Tarot, so I already can't wait to get to the tarot portion of today's video. So let's see though, let's enjoy, let's be present and really get the messages that the oracles want to show us today. Spirit, what messages do you have for Pisces? What messages do you have for Pisces, please? Ooh, you guys are getting my favorite card. Okay, wow. Guys, there is a heavy emphasis. Okay, I had this vision this morning of when I was meditating on your energy. I felt like there were a lot of knights, but I can't say for sure that they were knights. I just saw horses' rear ends. And they were all kind of lined up and facing a certain direction. And then I saw a dark horse kind of come and like part the other horses and make their move forward. So this could be someone you're not expecting, someone that, you know, you had sort of written off, or this could be someone new that is a dark horse, you know, is someone that may not necessarily readily appear to have a chance or a shot with you. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna dive into your reading. But wow, this energy of, you have the garden heliotrope and it says devotion and dreams fulfilled. So Pisces, this is what we're talking about. We are talking about finally getting a partner who is ready to commit, who is devoted to the commitment itself, is devoted to you. I keep getting this, you know, this person may not be your usual type kind of energy. They're a dark horse. I don't know. I don't know if that means there's someone you've already written off or someone who, you know, you've kind of given up hope of them coming back. Someone with an outside chance, you know, or almost seemingly no chance, it feels like, but they're making their way with intention. You have Sacred Lotus here, which is my favorite card, obviously. And it says enlightenment. And the quote on this card is "No mud, no lotus" by Thich Nhat Hanh. And that quote just literally, I should probably have that tattooed on me somewhere. I don't, but I probably should. If I were going to get a quote tattooed, it would probably be that one. Because that tattoo really got me. I mean, not that tattoo. I don't know why I'm talking about tattoos. That's so strange. Maybe tattoos have something to do with this person or you or something. You know, I don't usually talk like that. So that was just really weird. Anyway, this energy of no mud, no lotus really got me through some of my darkest days. Because even when you're in the darkness, it gives the darkness purpose. You know, you start to realize that the darkness could be a nourishing place. It can be a place that sparks life, or that supports life, or that actually is full of fertilizer and nutrients and everything that you need to grow strong roots and to spring forward towards the light. And when you start looking at the darkness through those eyes and having that realization, even when you're in it, you almost immediately start to see the light. It's like the seed cracks open and you almost immediately start to see the light, and you know what you're aiming toward. You may not know exactly what it is or exactly what it looks like, or, you know, its exact kind of even like location, but you know which general direction to move in, and you just kind of can, even when you're tired, even when you're hurting, even when you're just depleted in every possible way, you can put one foot in front of the other as long as you know what direction to sort of face, to go toward. Then you have this like apple blossoms energy, choices, knowledge, and illumination. seeing the darkness as something that can potentially, be the mud that holds the nutrients that you need in order to blossom or bloom in life is a choice. And it is a very illuminating choice. It is a choice that says not only, it says a lot about you, honestly. Wow. Okay, guys, it's starting to give me a clearer picture of something here. Someone may have gone through a bit of an ego death. Could have been from a relationship with you, or, as a result of something like that, or it could have had nothing to do with you at all. But it could be that they're kind of emerging from this place and still trying to head toward the light. And you may actually feel like lightness to this person, regardless of whether this is a past person or a new person. This is what I'm getting. This person there's an energy of it just might surprise you, kind of how deep this person is. They may not come across this way. It's showing me this apple blossom as like you would not readily know that this blossom is going to become the fruit. And, if you just were to see this blossom, and you were looking for an apple, you may reject the blossom, even though the blossom will be an apple. It's like, I don't know if that even made sense, what I just said, but like, that's what it's showing me. It's like someone in the stages of becoming, or also, when you're going through some kind of ascension and things aren't really making sense. When you go through an ascension, it's like the people that you used to hang out with, not all of them are going to go with you where you're going. Not all of them are also going to choose to ascend. And so you can start to kind of become a stranger in familiar lands, which is really uncomfortable. And you can start getting annoyed and edgy with people that you once loved to sit and laugh with and bullshit with, but it's like you have outgrown it and you no longer see the sense in it. And in fact, you feel it's almost like lower vibrational, and it just doesn't resonate with you. And so you're in a sense of disharmony when you're being exposed to it. And so you no longer want to be exposed to it, but it's also something that you aren't readily like, they're your friends or they're your people, or this is what you always do. So why is it all of a sudden being like this? And why can't you? And, have they always been this annoying? And you know what I'm saying? Kind of energy. And then you haven't quite become the space that you're moving into yet. So when you're relating to the new space, you almost kind of feel like you don't quite belong there, but you want to be there. You're attracted to it. You're inspired by it. It's inspirational and aspirational for you. And so that's where you want to be, but you can easily be rejected by that space because they don't feel the same resonance with you because you're not quite there yet. So this is giving me someone who's in a stage, right? They're in this blossoming stage where they haven't become the apple, but they're not just a barren branch either. Do you know what I mean? God, I am getting such a sense of loyalty. You know, when you, oh, I don't know if you guys have watched the show Yellowstone, but like, there's a whole series of like people who basically were orphaned from a very difficult life who end up on the Yellowstone ranch and end up becoming cowboys. And there's a lot of, you know, toxic stuff about it, obviously, but like there's also something really beautiful about it, about these people that kind of are, they don't belong to anyone, they don't have any kind of family, they don't have anything, and this is a place where those people come together and find space, like find a sense of belonging. And it's like the Kevin Costner, John Dutton, the head of the Yellowstone Ranch, it's like he sees that this person is messed up and that this person has had no upbringing and that this person is traumatized and a mess. And he doesn't coddle them. He doesn't, you know, he's just like, here's what's expected of you, you know, period. But there's also something incredibly healing about horses and nature and the land. But they blossom and they become, and you're literally watching all of these character arcs of people becoming, you know, something incredible. And it's beautiful. And when you invest in someone when they have nothing, there is a sense of loyalty that happens there that is, I mean, it's absolute lifelong devotion. And that's what I'm getting from this Aster energy. It says elegance and patience. You also have that devotion word here on this garden heliotrope. But it, you know, it's like the more grace you give, the more you seek the beauty in others, and the more you recognize the stage of development, or you look at it and you relate to it and you lovingly care for it and like nourish it. And I'm not you know, suggesting to you to take on a project or a Mr. Fix-It or anything like that. That's not this. This isn't someone who's coming to you like, I am bleeding trauma right here, right now, and I need you to fix me. This is someone who's like, I have made a series of choices to move towards the light. You feel like light. You know, I may not be in your space quite yet, but that is what I'm becoming. That is what I am going to be. You know, that's I'm on that path already. I'm doing it already myself. And it's like when you show people like that beauty and grace and patience, and you allow them to become in their own way, in their own time, in, you know, knowing, right, that this is like the Seven of Pentacles kind of energy, that if they're nourished correctly, or if they're shown things, you know, they'll rise to meet it. They'll become the apple. I don't know. And then you have this amaryllis, and it says determination, creative achievement. This is, you know, this is someone who's determined to belong. You know, they're someone who, you know, when someone is inspired and you know, by the frequency and by the energy and by, you know, if you're someone who has been traveling in circles where people talk about each other, we're like, that's what we do. We get together and we're like, oh my God, did you see this? Oh my God, blah, 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 that, and da, 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 da. And then you get together with a group that's talking about Plato and, you know, the David and the Mona Lisa and, you know, big ideas, the cosmos, James Webb, you know, books, you know, all these things, right? These creations. And they're determined to, I just don't know. It's like, it's such a different feeling. And it feels so much better to talk about ideas and theories and concepts and, you know, how we can make the world a better place, and how we can ease each other's suffering, and things that we have learned and wisdoms that we have gathered from this source and that one. You know, it helps so much. You know, we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. We are all just walking each other home. And when we take the time to walk with the other and share what we have learned and our experiences and our knowledge, we do a lot of that on this channel. I learn stuff from you guys all the time. You telling your stories in the comments and offering your insights and your interpretations in the comments. I read every single comment. I have learned a lot from you guys, a lot. I mean, and even when I injure my knee, even when I, you know, get COVID, even when and you guys are like, hey, did you try this? Hey, did you try that? You know, I try them all, and they're amazing. When I lost my sense of taste and smell, you guys were like, try this, try that. I did it all. I have no idea what worked and what didn't, but I did it, and I got my sense of taste and smell back. You know, it's when you're in this cooperative energy of swapping information and experience and knowledge, and that helps us to build and to grow and to, you know, reach higher states ourselves, then you can't really go back to the spaces where people are talking about each other, you know. And that's why they say the more you ascend, the fewer friends that you have. You know, I have kind of, you know, I've had a lot of friends in my life, and I still, you know, will talk to some people who, and, you know, they'll get on the phone and they'll start talking about other people. And I have to, you know, or people that we know. And if it takes a low vibrational turn, you know, I have to just say, you know, okay, I have to go. I'm so sorry, you know. You know, and it's hard to kind of keep those people in your life if they want, you know, to keep, you know, talk on a regular basis, or they don't understand the boundary, or they don't understand what the problem is with what's happening there. And especially even if you like tell them directly, like, I'm uncomfortable talking about people like that. And I've always been that way. I've never really been one to be like wanting to talk about other people, especially negatively. You know, if I can talk about how I could support them, or how I could show up for them, or the great things that they're doing, or the projects they're working on, or whatever, like, sure, fine, no problem. I'd love to do that. But like, to just sit around and bash somebody, and then act like you love them to their face, that just gets me so hard. Woo! And I'm like, do you think that I don't know that if you're doing that to them, you're also doing that to me? Like, that just gets me. But, you know, there are certain rooms you can't go back to once you've realized that there are other rooms to be in. And there are other ways to spend your time, and you can connect with people on another level. I have like one very best friend for like 15 years. And we will go sometimes a year or more and not seeing each other because we live in different places, and his job, like, he travels all over the world. So he just happened to come to Florida before he is going to Australia and Indonesia and Bali and whatever. Anyway, but every single time I link up with him, it's crazy, because it's like our lives were running parallel the whole time. And like, I was over here learning this, and he was over here learning that. And when you put those two knowledges together, you're like, wow, that's such a complete picture. It's so crazy. It's been happening for like 15 years without, it's wild, you know? And so anyway, you know, there are friendships where, and we've never been one to talk about people. I've never had to be like, okay, hey, like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go there, with him. And you know what? If I started talking about someone, he would shut me down, like, cause he's the same way. But anyway, there's just this energy of, finding, you know, someone is finding themselves, and someone is going through some kind of ascension process after, I believe, there was some mud, you know, some darkness, some difficulty in their life. And it was something that happened in order to crack their seed, in order for them to grow, to push down into the earth and to reach up into the heavens. And you have here ending with the gladiola, which is strength of character and moral integrity. And so this is really giving me, it's like, this is a diamond in the rough. This isn't a fix-it project. This isn't a let me mother you project. This isn't anything like that. This is, you know, let me just not judge you. Let me just create a secure, non-judgmental environment where you can complete this process of becoming the apple, where you can find your own sort of pillar of consciousness, your own moral integrity, your own strength of character. And I feel like at the end of this process, you have someone who is hopelessly devoted to you, someone who can commit, someone who can give you what it is you want. For some of you, this could be a friend or a family member, but for a lot of you, I do feel like this is a love interest. Wow, you have red rose, courage. It says, be brave, be strong, believe. This person had to have courage. They had to be brave in order to sort of allow themselves to rise up out of the mud, to choose to move towards the light. You know, it's funny because we a lot of times we only want to deal with things that are already in resonance with us or are already on our level. But, you know, I always kind of use my gut as a guide, and kind of that I will ask myself, especially after I've hung out with someone for the first time, I'll say to myself, you know, do you feel better or do you feel worse, you know, after hanging out with the person as I walk away? And I listen to that. You know, if it says worse, I'm definitely not going to pick up the phone and call you and say, hey, let's do something again. And if you call me, I'm really going to consider it, you know, I'm really going to think about it for a minute. But yeah, there's just, I found that, like, even if I don't feel completely in resonance with someone, I can still feel like, you know, I do feel like I am better off for having hung out with them though. Or I do feel like better leaving them than I did when I got here. You know what I mean? So there's something there, you know. It's not that everyone has to, you know, believe everything that we believe or you know, be on our level, whatever that is. I hate talking like that because I feel like it is judgmental. Like, oh, you're not on my level. You know what I mean? Like, that's not okay. But, you know, it's interesting because when you see someone who is trying, who is growing, who is curious, who is, you know, exploring things on their own, you always have something to learn from someone like that, you know, and you never know what they're going to discover, you know, on their own that, you know, could be really beneficial or useful to you in some way. So, yeah, so I definitely, I always listen to my gut instinct about people, but then I also always ask myself, do I feel better or worse after I hang out with people? Even people I've known for a really long time, I'll ask myself that, and I really listen to it. I take that very seriously. So you have this courage, and I feel like that's what this person is kind of embodying. I feel there's a lot of bright red energy here, and it's giving me someone who is passionate, someone who is desirous, someone who is working through something. They are a work in progress. You have wisteria here, longevity, plan for and take the dedicated path. I feel like this person is pretty dedicated to reaching for the light, to trying to be in spaces that inspire them, and is kind of really wanting to stay away from the spaces that that they don't really belong in anymore, or that don't feel comfortable to them anymore. And then you have geranium and its virility. Shake it up a little. You've got this. I feel like this person may have like a real comfort zone, or they may have had like certain friends for their whole life, or they may have kind of had the viewpoints of their family or whatever, whether they agreed with them or not. It was a comfortable existence for them. And I feel like this person is figuring out maybe how to use their voice, or how to have boundaries, or how to kind of express themselves, or try to. I keep getting this energy of trying, or like, you know, they're figuring it out. Like they're not an expert. It's a very page kind of energy, where it's like, I'm still learning, but I am giving messages. I am letting it be known. And then you have heart ease, compassion, tread a little more tenderly. I feel like this person is someone that if you show them kindness, if you show them patience, if you show them grace, it will pay off a million times over. A million times over. You know, Pisces, this is interesting. As I was shoveling this deck, I was getting that you may be going through something similar to this as well. You may, this person is not your regular type. And I feel like you're actually, it's kind of like you have become disenchanted by your regular type, or this is a moment where you are becoming disenchanted with your regular type. Because I think you're discovering the toxicity of it. I feel that there's an energy here of a lot of potential with someone. There's something about your past, and maybe your past looked good on paper, or maybe your past could provide some kind of stability. I'm actually getting something kind of boring around this, where it's kind of like there's almost this like, I don't really need to try because I'm like, I am who I am, or like there's an unwillingness to be flexible, or to grow, or to even, there's no curiosity about the way you do things. It's kind of like, this is the way I do things. There's sort of a closed offedness. There's a very black and white energy here, like this is good and this is bad. Around, I feel like this is your past energy, and it's kind of like someone who this worked for them, so they weren't really seeking to change. And even if they acted interested in all your free-spirited energy here, they didn't behave that way. They didn't act that way. Their actions did not support that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They may have kind of seemed open to it, but I feel like in the end they weren't. They were someone who clings to stability. They clung to kind of a traditional sense of success. And you're a free spirit over here. I'm getting this energy completely. And I think that may be why you were kind of attracted sort of to your opposite here, or to someone who was steady, who was strong, who was maybe seemed reliable. But with the enemy in disguise, this person was actually not that good for you. You know, they may not have committed to you. They may have in the end been a little freaked out by your free-spiritedness, or your independence, or your, you know, commitment to staying true to who you are. They may have wanted you to conform to their ways or their ideas. I think that you held space for this person, or allowed them to sort of come around, but they feel very duty bound, and very much like they're not open-minded to even seeing the beauty of, I think they were very attracted to you for this energy, partially at least, but couldn't really put their finger on it. But when push came to shove, they were unwilling to shove. You know, they were unwilling to push their own boundary. They were unwilling to kind of embrace this beautiful energy that you are encapsulating here. And, you know, it's like, I think maybe for some of you, you may have kept trying with people like this, and they couldn't see you. They couldn't appreciate you. They couldn't certainly love you wholeheartedly for who you are. And I think they didn't commit. I think they didn't show up. And I think this enemy in disguise is kind of, it's giving me like they tore apart your self-esteem. They may have even made you question yourself or make you feel like there was something wrong with you, or that maybe you weren't worthy, or maybe you weren't this. I mean, this is the type of person who really quietly makes you question yourself, and if there's not something wrong with you. And it's not feeling good, you know? And it's kind of feeling like the thing that you sort of can't put your finger on it. Like you don't know where it's coming from. But, you know, when people cling to this kind of like 3D energy, a lot of times it's because they're pretty insecure. They haven't really met themselves deeply. So when they meet someone that has met themselves deeply, it really plays on those insecurities, and they will cling to their stability even more and more and more. And they'll project that insecurity onto you. And when you're an empath, or when you're a really open-hearted person, or when you're giving unconditional love to someone, you take that on willingly, because a lot of times without even realizing it. And then all of a sudden that's in your energy, and that's your burden, and you're carrying it. And it wasn't yours to begin with, it was theirs. And it was something they were unwilling to face. And now you have to face it for them. You know, you're processing their emotions because they're over here clinging to the 3D. I feel like you're meeting someone, and I feel like, you know, I don't feel like this person is exactly where you are now, but I feel like they are trying to embrace their free-spiritedness. You know, they are someone who is like, they may have been kind of even raised in this type of environment, or, you know, their friends may be, you know, that kind, that's just their space, I feel like. But they woke up and they're seeing in color now, and they have nowhere to put it. They don't really understand it. They don't know how to deal with it, almost, it feels like, but they're committed to it in their own way. And so they're sort of going through some kind of transition or change. It's like that apple blossom, which, oh my God, as I said, apple blossom, I got apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. What is that? Oh gosh, Lord. Yeah, I mean, this feels like this person is really like willing to embrace something different. They are looking for that. They want that. They're cherishing that. They love that. I think they're really attracted to you for this. I don't even feel like they know how to express it or what it is exactly. Pisces, I just get here like a little bit of a warning of, you know, be careful not to dismiss this person because they're not your usual type, because this is the person that would be hopelessly devoted to you if you opened up to this person and didn't judge them and provided them this space to grow into themselves in. But, you know, take that as it resonates. Always listen to your own intuition. I feel like you weren't expecting to meet this person, but I also feel like you weren't expecting this person to be who they actually are. This can be, especially because, you know, people who are going through a transition, and especially when they're kind of, we're raised in this environment, or this is who they've always been, and now they're switching into this environment, they may sort of almost like cling to this, or like try to project that they're still this because this is all they know. This is the mask that they've always worn. And so they may not, I just feel there's an energy here of a potential where they could rub you the wrong way as they try to navigate this space for the first time, or in this new energy for the first time. But there is something here where this could actually even help you fully come into your own. Like, this is like an explorative, curious, beautiful, becoming situation. There's something here where, you know, like I always tell my kids, it's like, I really want someone who sees you for you and who loves you just like I love you. If you're not spending your time with me, I want you to be with someone who loves you as much as I do, you know, and who appreciates just being in your presence as much as I appreciate being in your presence. And that's what I feel in this energy right here. It's like someone who just thinks you're magical. So let's see. Let's dive in. You know how when somebody doesn't totally know who they are, they can sort of rub you the wrong way because it feels almost like they're fake. Like, how do you not know who you are? But this is because this person is, it's not inauthenticity. It's, I am figuring it out. I am finding my voice. I am getting strong within who I am. I am finding the words to articulate it. You know, when I went through yoga teacher training, there were so many things that we talked about that I was like, oh, I believed this my whole life. Oh, I thought this my whole life, but I never had the words for it. I never understood the concept of it. It's like I just knew it. And yoga teacher training gave me the words. It gave me the foundation for, like, yeah, okay, this is what it is. It's in the Yoga Sutras. It's right here, you know, like da 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 da. And it's kind of like that with this person. You're almost that person to this person. What a beautiful gift. But yeah, you want to, dude, oh, Pisces, I don't know what this is, but yeah, this is what I got. Here's your dark horse, the little skunky chariot here. I love these cards. Oh, I love these cards. Thank you, MJ Coulinine, for your beautiful artwork and your love of tarot. Yeah, you sort of have your eye on what it's supposed to be, or, you know, I just heard this the other day. There was a video playing in the background. I don't know what it was, but they were talking about relation shopping. Instead of relationship, it was relation shopping instead of relationshipping. And it's kind of like when you have dated and you're like, okay, I want the person to look like this person. I want them to be the height of this person. I want them to be the intelligence of this person. I want them to be the funny like this person. I want them to have a laugh like this person. I want them to have a job like this person. You know, you're shopping for those things. And, you know, that, what that does is it cuts you off from seeing the beauty in what is presenting itself in your life. And part of the human experience is we think we know what we need and we think we know what we want. And when the more attached we get to the idea of what we think we need and what we think we want, the more difficult it is to see the gifts that the universe is presenting us with. And you know, a lot of times what the universe presents us with is better than anything that we could have actually dreamed of. I know it's certainly the case. I feel like with my husband, there's no way in the world I could have ever have known what I needed in life, in a life partner. And I thank God that even though I was super young, I was smart enough to realize that, you know, and that I had a good guy. But yeah, like I could not have known that I was going to completely cut ties with my entire family. And, you know, that was going to, you know, like really put a heavy emphasis on my marriage and, you know, whether I'd picked the right one or the wrong one, you know. But I had no idea the things that I was going to face in life. I had no idea what it was going to be like. My daughter just had her birthday, you know, she's a Pisces. And I was telling her the story about how she was born. And I was telling her this moment when I looked up and the nurse was telling my husband, you can touch her, she's yours. And I'm looking over from the hospital bed, and I see this tiny little hand reaching up out of the little bed, and my husband was putting his finger down toward the hand. And I literally had this moment where I was like, I am witnessing a miracle. Like, it was the craziest thing. Like, it hit me like a ton of, I was just like, I am the luckiest person in the world. I am seeing this. I am experiencing this right now. It was just crazy. And I was telling her about how I had this, I wanted to like be on a yoga ball. Like, I had this whole plan that I had worked out for my child birthing. And my husband was just so dedicated to helping me achieve it. I couldn't get the epidural till I was willing to go to the bed. And I didn't want to go to the bed because I heard that's just like, you just not good. So I was like, okay, I'm going to not do this as long as I cannot do this. And so my husband was keeping me balanced on this yoga ball as I'm going through these horrific contractions. I mean, I was definitely on drugs, but it wasn't an epidural. I could still feel it. And he had his knees in my kidneys, and he was keeping me balanced on this ball for hours, you guys, for hours. And I could not have known when I married him that he was going to be that guy, that he was going to be doing that he was going to figure out that that helped my pain, and that was what he could do to contribute to making it easier for me, and that he was even going to be the guy that was going to contribute to making it easier for me. But I have never loved him so much as, like, well, I mean, I have since, but in that moment, I was just like, oh my God, I did right when I married him. And I was telling my daughter all this, you know, and I was like, that's the guy you want to marry, the guy that freaking is going to do that for you. And unfortunately, a lot of times you don't know until you're in a moment like that. And it's just like Pisces with this Four of Cups, and the way this, like, is this an armadillo maybe? Is like looking at this cup, and look at this Chariot skunk guy over here, and it's like, but I don't do skunks. Like, I don't date skunks. I don't like skunks. Skunks stink, you know? And it's like, they're just missing the beauty of it. They can't even see it because they're relation shopping. So I don't know if this is you. Be careful if it is, if you feel that way, like you know exactly what you want, because this is causing a delay. This is an obstacle when it comes to this. And this is the Chariot. Like, this is somebody who can go stride for stride with you. This is somebody who can show up for you. You know, my mom told me the night before I married my husband, she said, I don't know why you're doing this. He can't support you to the lifestyle to which you've been accustomed your entire life. Like, what are you doing? If you're trying to prove something, now is the time to stop, like, before you walk down the aisle. And I was flabbergasted. I was like, no, I'm marrying him because I love him. And, you know, I was just floored. But, you know, if I had bought into what my mom was saying, or like what, you know, just even my upbringing told me, I would have missed the opportunity with my husband. And I can't even, you guys, that hurts my heart chakra to even say. I can't even imagine what my life would have been. Certainly not this right here. So let's look. Let's clarify. Speak of the devil. Sometimes I'm like, does he hear me saying all this stuff? Oh my God, you guys. Ah! It's the apple blossom. The skunk is the apple blossom. This is someone becoming their divine masculine. That's the emperor. This is what you want. Oh my God. And you're their wish fulfillment. And let me tell you, when you're someone's wish fulfillment, that's how I feel. That's how my husband has made me feel every single day. I swear to God that I'm his wish fulfillment. But when you are someone's wish fulfillment, when they can't take their eyes off you, when you are the only one that they know, that they see, that they want, that you're their everything, every decision they make, it's based on you. And, you know, on your health, well-being, happiness, your sense of hope and optimism, the fate that brought you together even. I just heard every little thing is gonna be all right. And then you have this Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Why the Three of Cups? Temperance. Pisces, is there someone else here? You know, Pisces, with the Three of Cups, you might be focused on a past person. You might be so focused on a past person that you're not seeing some kind of opportunity that's in front of your face. Especially because your past person might be projecting that they're the Emperor and telling you that you're their star, but then not treating you that way. Where this person is showing up the skunky chariot and they're becoming the Emperor. They're on their way. Because if you want to join up with an Empress, if you want to join up with a star, you have to rise. And so being in love with you, or you being this person's wish fulfillment, is actually causing them to elevate. And this isn't someone who's like, see, if you've been dating people who are like, I'm already there, I'm that and a whole bag of chips, and then they can't commit, and then they're more committed to the things that they have already achieved, and not taking any kind of emotional risk, and not being vulnerable in any way. That isn't an actual Emperor. That is someone projecting Emperor energy that is actually pretty insecure underneath it all. And they don't want to fail. And because failure would take away the image, the projection that they are the Emperor. And so they're not willing to risk. And what you have here is someone who, through the challenge of wanting to match you stride for stride because you are their wish fulfillment, they become the Emperor. So they're not showing up as the Emperor. They're acknowledging, they're in their authenticity and in their truth. They're not saying, I am this, I am already this, They're saying, I'm not that. I totally get that, but I will fucking become that for you, because that is how much you mean to me. That is how much I want this. So Pisces, be careful of past people. They're preventing you from being able to come together with this new person. Pisces. Pisces. Five of Cups, the Lovers, and the Queen of Cups. Woo-wee. You know, Pisces, is sometimes we think, well, if we're not talking about our ex, if we're not bringing our ex up, if we're not, then, and I'm open to dating someone new, and I'm open to a new relationship, then, still kind of pining over my ex isn't going to hurt anything, is it? Yeah, it fucking does. Because I'll tell you why. People feel that stuff energetically. So, like, you could have a soulmate coming up, but they'll feel that your energetic space is already full. And they'll also feel that while you may be their wish fulfillment, they certainly don't feel like yours. Because they're not. Because your past person is still occupying that space. The other thing is, do you think for a second, I've thought about this. This actually came to me in meditation like a few years ago. That the universe is going to put this beautiful, vulnerable energy on your path when you're going to demolish it and break its heart because you're still focused on a past person and you can't commit. You can't turn your focus to this person. With this Queen of Cups being this orca that's like diving deep into the water here, you got to ask yourself, who's filling your cup? Who is going to fill your cup? Is the past person even capable of filling your cup? Just because they say they're the Emperor or they project this Emperor energy does not mean that they're the damn Emperor. What does it mean to be an Emperor? It means to be a divine masculine. It means to not be afraid of emotion. It means that you can stand in this space and you can commit and you can you make decisions that are not just in your highest and best, but are in the highest and best of all. You're emotionally available. You know, you're not making decisions out of fear. You can tell me you're an emperor all day long, but if you're not acting like one, you got a soulmate here. Look at that. It almost looks like the top of an apple. It's not. It's a poppy, but it's giving me that vibe. Yeah. Pisces, you got to ask yourself, this is something that's coming out of the blue. This is something, it's like you may have been on your own sort of crying over spilled milk or over a past experience, still maybe emotionally recovering from it, asking yourself what you want. You know, this is kind of that energy of like, I probably cry into my pillow sometimes still over this person because I'm hurt, I'm sad, like I'm disappointed it didn't go the way I expected it. You may even be asking yourself if you did the right things, if you said the right things, if you would have said this, if you hadn't have said that, maybe it could be, and processing all of that. When someone came into your life unexpectedly, and this is a soulmate that came into your life unexpectedly, the Tower is clarifying the friggin' Lovers. I'm gonna take another one on this Tower, and you have the King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. What is the Tower here for Pisces, clarifying the Lovers, please? What? Oh my God. What can you tell me? Oh my God. Oh my God. Pisces. This is a work in progress, but they are somebody that knows what they want. They're taking every step in the right direction. The Sacred Lotus. They see the light, and they're moving toward the light, and they're moving toward the light in a solid and stable way. They are becoming. They may not be there yet, but they are working on becoming. And they are no less your soulmate because they are a work in progress. This is someone that came in unexpectedly. They didn't appear on the outside to be. They're in the process of a major transformation. Yeah, they've gone through a big ego death. Could be dealing with a Scorpio here. Or even a Virgo or a Gemini. But this is someone who, you know, they see the light as being a long-term relationship with you. King of Pentacles, wow, with the Five of Pentacles underneath it and the Seven of Cups underneath that. This is someone who, they have stuff going for them. You know, they're not the slouchiest of the slouchies. They have stuff going for them. Look at this. This is actually an apple. Look, isn't that so weird? Because that's a different deck than that. Okay, I don't know. Apples may be significant, you guys. I love these cards so freaking much. This is someone who, you know, they've lost something and they have been putting themselves back together. They've been figuring this out. This loss, it was like an ego death. This was something that sparked a major transformation in this person's life. They are on their way to becoming someone who can commit, who can show up, and who is abundant. They may not be there yet. They're still kind of facing their fears. They're still maybe even trying to figure out what their fantasy is, what their highest and best hope for themselves and for their life is. But they're no slouch. Jesus. You can only come together with one person, Pisces. You're coming to the place where you have to make the choice. You have the World card with the Seven of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Temperance energy. What do you desire, Pisces? For some of you, you have multiple choices, and but your period of time that you have to choose is coming to an end with the World card. You know, oh my God. Pisces, I just keep getting this energy. There's all these like animals here with these alligators. And then there's this white deer back here in the back of this card. And it's like, you're not even looking in this direction, but this is the one. All these are just alike. All of these are time wasters. All of these people are like, look at me, pay attention to me. Oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm just like you, blah, 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 blah. But you know, see, they have the wand on their back. It's kind of like they have an ulterior motive, or there's a secret to them, or they don't really have a backbone. They're just borrowing one. And they don't really want you to find that out. You have your own backbone. You're not using the wand in the same way. But there's this really good candidate that's 1 in a million over here, and he's not begging for your attention. They're just standing back here hoping that you're going to turn and see them. You're going to have to make up your ultimate choice. You can only come together with one person. I got that with the Temperance. Wow, King of Cups. Okay, underneath the Temperance. It could be a water sign that you're supposed to come together with. You do have the World card, which is another card that could indicate Scorpio. Oh, Pisces. Oh my God, you have the 10 of Swords with the 10 of Cups. Pisces, you know, with the 10 of Swords, a lot of times I will get this energy when I'm meditating and the 10 of Swords comes up, where it's an ending that is much more painful than it needs to be. Maybe it's because we stay in the thought cycle of that pattern. Maybe it's because we try to hold on to it because we have an expectation of an outcome, and so we hold on to the opportunity, or quote unquote the opportunity, because we're still hoping for a particular outcome instead of just accepting the ending and that it wasn't what we thought it was and that it wasn't meant to be. And just accepting that and coming to a place of peace with it and moving on. We hold on to it, trying to get back to the place where it could be, where it could reach this potential. This feels like your choice. Your choice is, you know, do you want to do that? Or do you want emotional contentment with another person? You got to ask yourself, why am I on this path? What got me on this path? You know, is it this particular person that got me on this path? Or was I always on a path to find emotional contentment with another person? And I thought it was this person, but it's not this person, because what I've gotten from this person is the 10 of Swords. And so maybe I need to let that cycle complete, and I need to keep looking for the 10 of Cups. You know, because sometimes it becomes a very blurry thing where a particular person becomes the 10 of Cups for us, where it's like we can only picture ourselves ever being emotionally content with that one person. That simply is not true. There are billions of people on this planet, and many of them you can have emotional contentment with. You have this Knight of Wands being clarified by this Knight of Cups. The multiple knights in your reading can oftentimes mean that there are more than one person coming at you. And you have to consider, you know, what are they bringing? What energy are they coming in? A Knight of Wands is someone who's in and out of your life, someone who's always like, what I want is what guides me and what is important, and what I want can change, is fickle, you know? The Knight of Cups is someone who follows their heart. My heart is leading me here. There's actually even fish in this card. My heart is my guide. So with the Four of Pentacles, oh, geez. You have the Four of Pentacles with the Three of Swords underneath that, with the Queen of Pentacles underneath that. You know, Pisces, holding on. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, there's, you know, like a picture thing on Instagram, a meme, a GIF, whatever that is. And it shows like someone whose hand is like bleeding and just a wreck and all blistered out and gross from like holding on to a tug of war, the end of a tug of war. And it's like, you know, sometimes, you know, we hold on because we're afraid of the pain of letting go. But sometimes the pain comes from holding the fuck on. Okay, holding on to some expectation, holding on to some dream we thought we could have. I don't know, I'm cussing kind of a lot in this reading, and there's usually a reason for that. Take it as it resonates. But, you know, the holding on causes the pain. Holding on increases the suffering. Holding on causes the Ten of Swords. With the Queen of Pentacles, when you know your worth, when you know your value, and when you nurture what nurtures you, and you focus on what focuses on you, then you increase, you see how at peace and unbothered and okay this Queen of Pentacles is. It's a very different energy from like this. You know, you allow what wants to come and what goes to go, because you know your worth, and you know that anyone who sees your worth is going to treat you as such. And so if someone doesn't treat you as such, they don't see your worth. And you don't want to be with someone that doesn't see your worth. You can't ever, they're not just going to wake up someday and be like, oh, now I see your worth. They have to find it within themselves first before they can see it within you. You know, so you got to be careful about that. Someone wants to choose you, Pisces. They are still learning. I know, Pisces. Oh, the Queen of Pentacles. I love this Queen of Pentacles. You have this Page of Wands with the Queen of Pentacles. I feel like someone wants to choose you. Someone sees your value. Someone sees your worth. And, you know, I feel like you're a bit, I think you're the one that's like, should I, shouldn't I, do I, don't I? You know what I mean? You're sitting in this space of kind of like indecision, ready to take a leap, but not taking the leap. Let's see, let me clarify. Wow, well, I love to see that Strength card there. Okay, you have the Three of Wands with this Page of Wands. This could be, oh my God, actually, this is fucking beautiful. This is making my heart melt. The Page of Wands with the Three of Wands. My God. This is someone who's like, I choose you. And I choose you because I have this vision. Because I can see it going this way. Because I see your value. Because when I look to my future, I don't want to exist in a world that you aren't in. This is something you've been waiting for someone to say to you forever. Forever. They may be a page, but they see your value. And they can see themselves rising to meet the occasion, and they believe in themselves and their ability to do it. They're not running away scared that you're going to realize that they're not the emperor after all. They are admitting to you fully and completely, I'm a fucking page. I'm a page who knows what they want and who knows what's in front of them and who knows that this is the opportunity of a freaking lifetime. And look at this. You have the Queen of Pentacles with the Six of Wands. Do you know what the Six of Wands is? Recognition. Finally, someone recognizes my worth. I've never felt so seen. I've never felt so validated from the outside world. I have never felt so appreciated. It's a risk. It is a risk for sure. That's why you're sitting on the Two of Swords right here, because this is a page, you know, but at least it's an honest page and not a lying emperor. And you got the Strength card here. It's going to require you to overcome your fears of connecting with or committing to someone who hasn't already become yet. The blossom instead of the apple. Woo, Pisces. Let me get you some quotes, some messages. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. Damn face was looking at her. All right, I don't know, you guys, but I do. That song is tied to a very, very, very important person in my life. Twin flames. I am afraid to trust. Indecisive. It's hard for me to explain things. Regret. If you're dealing with a fire sign, Pisces, cold, I can't stop thinking of you. Stuck, I am making plans. Resentment. If you're dealing with an earth sign, blocking, angry. I thought about reaching out, but I don't know what to say. I want to be vulnerable with you. Suddenly, all the songs I hear are about you. And if you're dealing with an air sign, I am trying to figure things out. Distant. I don't want to let you down. You are hard to forget. And trigger. Pisces, this is what I have for you. I really hope it helps. I hope that it brings you some peace and some clarity. If you don't know who this person is, I feel like you have a secret admirer or this energy is coming into your life. All right. My goodness, it's pretty wild. I feel like this is true love. I feel like this is, you know, that moment when you have always never had anyone see your worth and then someone sees your worth. That's happened to me. That has literally happened to me. And I want that for you. I so want that for you. That is the best freaking feeling in the world. Guys, I am offering up my hopes and my prayers and my everything I've got for each and every single one of you. I am sending you on your way with all of my best. Always, always, always. Until next time. Bye-bye.